Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool pinball video for you this evening. We have been working on this Gottlieb Amazing Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man pinball machine from 1980. It's a wide body, and it's a pretty cool machine, especially if you're a comic book fan, obviously. And we've been working through it, and we've got it up and doing its thing and looking pretty good. And so we've been filming videos as we go. So if you're one of our regulars, maybe you've been watching the videos as we go, and we appreciate that. So I got to figure out what we're going to do next. So the first video, we did kind of like an overview of the cabinet, and we worked on, well, I don't think we worked on the boards, but we worked on the power supply down on the bottom of it, didn't we? That's how we got it up and running again. And then in the second video, we worked on the playfield and we repainted parts of it. I'll never tell where we repainted, but you could probably figure it out if you look close enough. And we put everything back together, and of course we waxed everything, and we got it looking pretty good, as you can see, right? So the next thing is, I can't remember what we were going to do next. It's just about ready to go. We could probably go ahead and sell it like... Oh, wait a minute! There's no back glass! That's right, we were going to put a brand new back glass in it. So, when we bought this, it had a back glass, but it was in a storage building. And someone had, I don't know if they had been trying to work on it in the storage building, or if they had just were looking at something or whatever, but this little piece up here that holds the glass in had been removed. And the glass was laying face down on the machine. And it had been in storage for quite a long time. And the storage was not temperature controlled, and it had started deteriorating the back glass. So unfortunately, we have the back glass, but it's in really rough shape. Now, if you've watched our videos before, you know that sometimes I repaint them or I try to fix them up. I'm not really an artist or anything, but I try to make them where they're presentable. We decided we wouldn't go that route on this one, mainly because a lot of the draw of this machine is the artwork. It's really cool to have this super big picture of Spider-Man right in the middle of the playfield, and all the little art, the comic book art stuff. And it's a comic book theme, very visual. The game has just a really cool look to it. It has Gottlieb's famous webbing paint on it, you know. They did a lot of their games like that. It wasn't just for Spider-Man. Let me see. We've got this old Masquerade over here that we're about to work on. Very old machine. But if you look, they painted the cabinet like that on all of them. And the reason they did that was because it hid flaws. So they would make these out of plywood, and then they would paint them all one color. So they would be, you know, just this would have originally been a white. And then they had a from what I understand, I wasn't there, but from what I've been told, they had a paint gun at the end of the line, or I guess after they painted it white, that the nozzle was adjusted in such a way so that all it did was just squirt out paint. And they just dusted it, and it threw black, some of them are silver, it threw black paint all over the white. And the reason that they did it was because it hid the flaws. So see that dent in the plywood there? Well, with the paint, with the splatter, some companies call it splatter paint. I think Gottlieb's was called webbing. With the paint on it, it kind of plays a little trick on your eye where you notice that, and that's part of the whole thing. And so you don't notice like that there's a little dent here. That's not a good example, but that there's a little dent there that may have been there in the plywood originally, and it just kind of brings everything together. And then they stenciled the other stuff on top of it. Well, so they did the same thing on this cabinet. A slightly different way, but it just has a really cool look. It's almost like a marbleized look. All right. So my whole point is, I could try to touch up the back glass, but it's such a visual thing with Spider-Man that I wanted to make sure that it looked nice. So I bit the bullet, spent a small fortune on a new one, and we're going to hang the old one on our wall and sell it to recoup a little bit of the money that we spent on the new one. Now, I say a small fortune. It's not necessarily that the company that we bought it for is expensive. They're all about the same price. It's just that This particular one is licensed, and it has a Marvel license, so I imagine they probably had to pay more money to remake it. We'll look at it here in a minute. That's what this video is all about. So let me show you the one that it came with first. We've got it hanging on our wall, and you can see what kind of shape it's in, and then we'll open up the new one and see what kind of shape it's in. So this is the beautiful glass that was in the machine. And you might say, just looking at it, wow, it still looks good. I mean, what's the problem? Well, we've got it mounted on a red wall, so the red is covering up a lot of the flaking that unfortunately was actually in Spider-Man himself. So all of that, you can see all the little areas that the paint had flaked away. And like I said in the past, I've repainted some of that stuff, but it's not going to look all that great on this because everybody, you know, you want Spider-Man to look like he looks in the comic books and to look great. And if I've tried to hand touch up the paint, it's not going to look all that great. And since it's such a recognizable piece of art, it's just going to look bad. So we went ahead and spent the money, got a brand new glass. See how the yellow's flaked away and you can see the red wall behind it? Well, Spider-Man's like that too. Most of his mask is gone, but you're looking at the red on the wall behind it. So it's this beautiful back glass with, I'm not a, back in the day I read a lot of comic books, but I never read Spider-Man, so I don't know all of his bad guys, but look how they've got a Spidey on all of the little glass windows. I believe that's Doc Ock, right? And that would be the Green Goblin up there. I do not know who he is, and I do not know who she is, but I think that's everybody on the back glass. But it's this great, iconic looking Spider-Man piece of artwork from the heyday of the books, 1980, you know. That's, I guess the 70s might have been bigger, but 1980, that's a pretty cool Spider-Man. So that's what we're left with. So we went ahead and bought a new one. So let me get that out and we'll check it out and see how they shipped it and make sure that it's still in one piece. We got it a couple weeks ago, so hopefully it's all right. And we'll see what kind of job they've done on the reproduction. So this is the box we got. It says right on it, do not lay flat, but I'm laying it flat to open it, so I think it'll be all right. I think they just didn't want it transported flat. Now you'll notice there's a huge hole in the box. I have not opened it, so I don't know what kind of damage that's done. But this is the type of crap that the post service does to you, right? So this was shipped through the post office. This back glass was made by the Shay arcade group. And they're known for doing really nice stuff. So we're going to see. Hopefully, I'm not opening up a box of fish tank, fish aquarium glass. So we'll see if we can get in this thing. Got a little razor blade here. I'll try to razor it. This box is huge. Probably looking at, I don't know. You know, that's the thing with buying back glasses is they have to ship them. And so they're shipping you a big piece of glass that's very expensive. So how do you do that? Do not lay flat, it says. It's warning me. You know what? It looks like there's a piece of glass in there, doesn't it? Holy crap, about dropped it. Alright, I'm going to see if I can lift it up out of here and then lay it on the table. So they basically have put this in a box with tons of peanuts. So this box has nothing left in it. Hold on a second, I'm going to clean up the peanuts. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. All right. Hopefully it's not cracked in half, people. Let's see. All right. Drum roll, please. Is it broken? It does not appear to be broken. Let me let the light hit it. Yeah, I don't see any cracks. It made it in one piece, people. So here's my initial reaction. Wow! It looked great. It looks fantastic. There's packing tape on my glass. You can clean it with a razor blade, but damn, that's gonna be a hell of a mess. But whatever they had to do to get it here in one piece, I'm cool. I'm cool with. There's a lot of tape here, folks. I'm happy they got it here in one piece. So the tape's not that big of a deal. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean it up a little bit to get the tape off of it a little bit, and then I'm going to lay the other one, take the other one off the wall, and lay the other one beside it, and then we'll compare the two, and you can see what you think about the Shay Arcade Group. I've heard they are excellent, and so far I tend to agree. Alright folks, so it cleaned up pretty good, got all the tape residue off, as you can see, nice and shiny. So I figured what we'd do is we would compare the original one with the new one. And by the way, let me just say before I do this, I'm not sure what we're going to find, but let me just say before I do this, I'm not the type that is super picky about anything. Look, that's a freaking full-size Spider-Man backglass. If it fits in that machine, I'm happy as hell. Right? They got it here without breaking it. If we find some little thing where there's like a little color wrong or something, in my opinion, you're an asshole if you make that a big deal. That's just my opinion. Maybe bring it up. They can change it on the next run or something. But I am not one of these guys that's going to be like, oh, the color is slightly off. Look, that's not what we're going to do here. But we are going to look at it. So my intent is not to find problems with it. My intent is to brag on how nice it is. Not because I bought it, because the company made it. So to me, this is very cool that there's a company making something this awesome. I mean, is this not one of the best damn backglasses ever? Really? I think so. So, you know, they haven't paid me. I don't know these people. I'm just trying to say it's pretty cool. So let's check out some stuff. It's about 26 inches, wouldn't you say? So the original one, same. All right, I guess it's 26 square. Dead on it. So they're the same size. Oh, I guess I should do thickness. I'm not going to measure it. We'll just look at it. It's exactly the same. What can we compare? Let's see here. Spider-Man and the distinctive likeness thereof is a trademark of the Marvel Comics Group and is used with permission. Copyright 1980, Marvel Comics Group, a division of Cadence Industries Corporation. All rights reserved. Cadence Industries Corporation. It's the same. So this is probably one of those areas. Like, see how the copyright logo looks? I'll bet that's a little bit off, right? So this is the original one. Yeah, see, that's like just slightly different if you wanted to get weird. So there are people out there in the arcade community and the pinball community that would complain about that. Like, oh, no, the font's slightly different on the copyright logo. We won't be doing that, folks. Okay, so let's look at Doc Ock. He's still pretty much intact on the original one. And so here in person, I'm just looking side to side. Look at his hands. You know, one thing is I can see it better with my eyes than you can see it through this camera because it's probably going to auto-adjust the white balance and stuff. But so look at the flesh tone of them. It's kind of like it's a pink, but it's almost like a grayish pink, right? So this is, I would say it's just slightly brighter. But that would be explained away by saying this one's faded and that one's not, you know? So, I mean, I'm sitting here looking back and forth, and it's so close. If there is a difference, it's just barely noticeable, right? So, look at the buildings. They are a orange. Right, and over here, it's a slightly different orange. But again, who's to say that hasn't faded? So you can see it there, see? You know, just minor little stuff that means nothing to me. So we've got like a burgundy there. And there's one there. In my opinion, those are dead on, or at least my eye can't discern the difference. So the Green Goblin, you know, is the same. Has the same burgundy. Yeah, let's look at him. So he's green, and he has like a yellow highlight on him. That's, man, it's real close. If it's off, it's just barely off. So, very nice in my opinion. You can tell the yellow's a little different. This yellow is a little more vibrant. This one looks a little bit more faded. But again, you could say that's, maybe this one's faded. I don't know. You know, this thing's in horrible shape. So, this is the way I look at things. Do I see anything here I don't like? No, not at all. It looks fantastic. It's also silk screened. We'll look at the back here in a second. It's silk screened, so it's, you know, high quality stuff, man. So let's look at, sometimes you'll see weird stuff on like hands and stuff. So let's look at his hand. So see how there's the extra little line that goes down onto his gauntlet. Or I guess that's not really a gauntlet, but the red part. Right? And then there's this extra little thing here behind. So let's see if that's on the other one. Now remember this one, I don't have all the paint, but you see that extra line is there. The other little thing isn't there, but we are nitpicking, you know. Nitpicking, people. So you can always find little stuff like that. But is the general presentation of Spidey the same? I'm sure they scanned in an old one and then reworked the entire thing in a program to get everything right. So this is the original one. And this is the new one. So your blue's a little different, right? But this kind of has almost a faded look. Looks a little, I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I never read Spider-Man, so I'm not really familiar with all of the eras of him. So I don't know if that's more close to how he would have looked in '80, or if this was more close to how he would have looked in '80. And like I'm saying, you know, we're nitpicking now. We're down to like breaking out the Pantone colors. So let's look at this. So there's the new one. There's the close-up of the the Green Goblin's glider fumes and everything. And then here's the old one. See the little star in the background there behind it? And then there's like 4 of them there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one that's hollow. It's over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one that's hollow, but it's slightly different. See it? Just slightly. Oh, let's nitpick. This one has thicker lines and that one has thinner lines. You know? So what would I give this on? If I was going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I rate their reproduction? So you saw that there's a couple colors that look a little different, but we don't know if that's because it faded or whatever. So what would I rate this reproduction on a 1 to 10? 1 being they're horrible, 10 being this is so excellent, I'm so happy to have it. So what would I rate this reproduction? What would you rate it? I'd rate it a 10. You thought I was going to say 9, didn't you? No, this is a freaking 10. Very, very nice. Love it, love it, love it. Here's Spider-Man's ankle bone. I was just pointing out an ankle bone on another Backglass just the other day. I'm getting this weird thing about ankle bones going on. So there's his ankle bone. Look how the line like leaves a little, right there, leaves a little bit of a triangle there in the art. I mean, come on, people. It's like, oh, let's do this. Okay, yeah, let's get real specific. Let's just butcher these people. I mean, we're going to go hardcore on them. How freaking close is this thing? So look at the little stipples in the blue that is on his knee there, right below the shadow. So there's a little line that comes down, and then so there's a line that comes down from like 1 o'clock, and then there's another one that goes out towards like 3 o'clock. Not exactly the same, but you can see kind of the same thing, you know. So that's your differences that you're going to find. Completely irrelevant. I could see if somebody was saying, oh, the color of the blue is slightly off. Oh, I should tell you this. I bought a Backglass one time that a guy had reproduced, and I won't say the name of the game or whatever. I bought it a few years ago because the guy complained about that the colors were slightly off on something, you know. And I'm not a printer, so I don't know all the details, but from what I understand, some of the colors they used back then you can't even get now, or things like that. So I don't know, whatever. And also, I know for a fact, just because I do a lot of arcade games and pinball machines, and I've done several different things over the years, I know for a fact that there were tons of times, especially on arcade games, but I would imagine probably on pinball machines too, where you get something in and you've had it before, or maybe you've got two in at the same time, and the colors are different like this. You know, like the blue is the one that I noticed the most. Where just from different, they've had different sources for their artwork. They would order 2,000 back glasses, and then they need to run another order, so they go to order another 2,000 back glasses from the place that was silk screening them, and they can't do it right now because they're busy, so they have another company do it, and you end up where they're slightly different. You know, so you're doing it 40 years after the original one. To me, like I said, 10 out of 10. Love it. Let's see. So his hand up here, there's like a crack running off. So there's a V over to the left, and then it comes over here and it goes between his ring finger and his middle finger, and it kind of almost goes up to his index finger. Same V running off to the left. It goes between his ring finger and his middle finger, and then the other one goes up almost to his index finger. You can see the detail on the hand on the original one. The detail on the hand on the reproduction one. I love it. Looks great. So let me flip it over and we'll look at the back of it, because there's an interesting little thing with these Gottlieb games, the way they did their Futaba displays. So here is the back. They shipped it with this piece of paper behind it. And the reason they did that was because on the actual display windows, they are transparent, but they have a color silked on them. Or I don't know how. I'm using terms, people. I'm probably wrong with some of my terms because I don't do this for a living, make back glasses or do art. But so they have a color on the windows so that it's not actually transparent; it's colored, and it appears to be the exact same color to me as the old one. And then also, if you let the light hit it, see all the little lines that you can see? You're seeing all of the silkscreen edges, because it's literally silkscreened. It's not printed. If it was printed, there would be no edges, right? They've silkscreened each color on this back glass the same way they did it originally, and then they've covered it all with a white masking exactly the way they did it originally. And it says, reproduced in 2019 under license from Gottlieb Development, LLC, P.O. Box 8369, Pelham, New York, 10803, owner of the Gottlieb and D. Gottlieb and Company trademarks. So, what do you think? Very nice, right? Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to put the lift channel on it, and then we'll install it in the game and see how it looks all lit up. Okay, folks, that's how it looks installed. Never mind my second player display. We're waiting on it to warm up. It's a little dimmer than the other ones. I don't want to zap it yet. But yeah, it looks fantastic, I think. It's there's no bad light shining through or anything like that. Looks great. I don't see any issues, really. There was some gold trim that went around it originally, and I think I've still got it that I took off the other one. I might put it on there for the sides, but I've never been a big stickler on that. You can see that the game over light completely illuminates and completely goes dark. What do you think? Let's try it with the lights off. That is a tasty back glass. I really like it. Good looking game. Alright folks, so there you go. Now how much did this thing cost? It was fairly expensive. It was $295. And then the shipping, I think, was about 40 bucks, something like that. But it showed up in one piece. And, you know, we're going through and comparing it to the actual original glass. The glass is hanging on the wall over there 20 feet away. By the time you got over there, you would not remember any possible discrepancy you can find in this one and that one. So, my opinion, well worth the money, especially if you're missing one. So there you go. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think of it. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're trying to show what the Shay arcade glass looks like. I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, I'd give it a 10 out of a 10. But I'm kind of like that, folks. If the damn thing was falling apart, I probably wouldn't have gave it a 6. You know, so I mean, I'm not the type that's going to give it a negative review anyway. So take that for what it's worth. I got a Pac-Man over here playing. Boy, we got some cool stuff in here right now. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about it. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking a video of it for you. We didn't have to do that, folks. Wasn't it nice of us to do that? Right? Let us know what you think. Make sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already. And there will be a link to Amazon down below. We film a lot of videos, but we don't like to ask people to send us money on Patreon or anything like that. That's fine if other people want to do it, but we're a business, so we don't want or need anybody to do that. But what we have been telling people is, if you're going to buy something on Amazon, if you click our link down below first, all you have to do is click it. You don't have to sign up for anything or any of that. If you click that link, it basically tells Amazon that we sent you to Amazon, and Amazon gives us a royalty of anything that you go and buy on Amazon after you click our link. So we appreciate everybody that's been doing that. People have been buying all kinds of cool stuff on there. It doesn't tell us who bought anything, so it's completely anonymous. So we've people buy a lot of tools, and we've had people buying small engine parts and computer parts, and clothes and stuff like that. So we, nothing special, but we appreciate everybody that's been doing that. Thank you very much. You rock. And while you're at it, we have a second channel. It's our brother channel, not our sister channel. Our brother channel is called My Brother Donnie, and it's literally My Brother Donnie has his own channel. And I'm over there with him from time to time, working on things. We're just about to start working on a 100-year-old building that we're working on and fixing up. It has nothing to do with arcade games or pinball machines, so it's a completely different flavor. But Donnie's always getting into some kind of situation. Right now he's working on a 1988 pickup that he bought, and he's fixing it up. He's got a big old 454 in it. So we just got, he just does random stuff, lots of small engine repair and farming stuff, and he's building a big, long trailer right now to haul hay on, and just, it's always something crazy with him. So subscribe to My Brother Donnie. The link will be down below. If you like, and leave your comments, let us know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next video.